Здорово, ребят. Сегодня продолжаем играть за Стэнли Ультра Deluxe. Да, давно его не было. И хотел бы рассказать, что произошло в прошлой серии. У меня закончилась память. Очень печально, что закончилась память и не сохранилась концовка. Была концовка очень хорошая, очень прикольная концовка. Ну что ж поделать. Сейчас продолжаем игру. Я не знаю, где мы, кстати, начнем. Где мы залазили в вентиляцию или там, где все заново.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Пропустим, я нажал. Да, отсюда. Может...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Вот новый контент тут. Пошлите в новый контент.
Good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Давайте продолжим с нового контента. Кстати, ребят, очень часто начал выпускать видео по Apex. Можете заглянуть, посмотреть. Очень был благодарен. Давай, пошли. Опять лифт.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Stanley Parable 2? Стоп, этого не было.
You see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Прикольно. Стоп, я простите. Welcome.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Что с твоим голосом произошло? Не понял. The Stanley Parable 2. Можно... Это же презентация, да? Как переключить ее? Нельзя? Раз, два, три, четыре, пять. С какого компьютера идет презентация? Вообще, откуда она идет? Ну-ка, что там? Ничего не вижу. Ладно, идем дальше.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Так что, ребята, еще я хочу купить новый микрофон. Не хватает 1000. 1000 или 2000 не хватает мне. Буду благодарен любой копейке. Я, конечно, куплю все равно за свои деньги, но будет намного быстрее, если кто-то задонатит. OnePlus. Не понимаю. А тут что? Почему так темно? Новый контент. Поиск на новый контент? Меня раздражает это, что я так нажимаю на любую кнопку. Происходит этот звук.
here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Новые фичи. Футболочки? Ой, двери закрыты, я могу проверить это. Сегодня я попробую не затягивать серию. Stanley Parable 2. Please. No screenshots. Не скриншотить.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
А, это я сейчас сам решаю? The Stanley Parable. Вот это прикольней.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
Ты сучара. Ладно. Поправляйся. Ну,
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Он уже сомневается. О, это так красиво выглядит. Давай сюда. У меня плохо с английским, если такой же вот переведете.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
То есть, пока ни одной фишки нет, нормально. Все, просто назад идем. Ну ладно.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Сейчас, подождите. Сейчас. Так. Оп, все, время. Таймер надо было поставить. Таймер-то я не поставил. Опа, ну пошли посмотрим на карту. Я здесь. А9, что это? Не знаю, что это. Ну, пошли в А9.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Меня вот это вот пугает. 1 из 6. Я назад могу? Не могу.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Ну почему? О, а здесь на русском. Выход. Да, это реально выход. Не, мне на выход еще рано. Идем. Прыжковый круг.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Да.
Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Да само, если я... Ну супер. Я все прыжки просрал. В первый раз, когда это увидел. Так, мы были вот там. Мы были вот тут. Пойдем вот туда, к ведру.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played
где ведро?
it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the
Ну да,
perfect
так-то
solution.
да, ведро это
Come on,
куда?
give it a try.
Ведерко.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair,
Ведерко.
must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they?
Да,
All this
вообще.
and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Ой, я теперь с ведром буду ходить? Ну все, теперь у меня есть ведерко. А, что за стульчик? Этот смех был на этого. Из Team
Does anyone
Fortress.
give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Да, мне кажется, стоило бы. Name. Кнопка name. Пойдем сначала сюда, к кнопке name.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want?
И чего
And
же
of
хотят
course,
они?
the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which
Кнопку.
speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that
Серьезно?
wonderful?
А стоп, я же свое имя не писал.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
Понял.
Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this
Jim.
feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim,
Да, давай.
sleeping and waking as
Jim.
Jim, falling
Я
in
Jim.
love and being heartbroken
Сплю как
as
Jim,
Jim,
влюбляюсь
seizing
как
all of the
Jim.
world's possibilities as Jim,
Я
and as
Jim.
Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply?
Да.
Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Я
If
Jim.
so, then please step forward and press the button.
Я Джим.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Кнопка реально про меня говорит.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Я
Let's take a
уверен, да.
break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
Нет,
Otherwise,
нет,
soon
нет,
you'll start
нет.
to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Нет, нет, Джим. Джим! Ну супер. Теперь я не Джим. Это может рабочий стол разработчика? Как странно. Все двери закрыты. Оп. Нет. А может и? Нет. Ну-ка, ну-ка, спрятали от меня дверцу. Ну-ка, ну-ка, и... хрен там. Ладно, идем дальше. А ведерко тут, мне кажется, самое детализированное.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Блин, а ты... А ты умен.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Эпилог. Какая-то дырка. Ну-ка, стоп. Халявное достижение, бесконечная дыра. Где бесконечная дыра? Тут? Потом туда сходим. Да, здесь бесконечная дыра.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Бесконечная. Прыгнем? Я же буду падать бесконечно.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions.
Не, это, кстати, реально гениально, это очень
Now
прикольно.
then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole,
Я реально
you can
падаю
press the
все ниже и
teleport
ниже.
button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Не, мне здесь хорошо.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
В смысле, это
Maybe
самое
do it on
прикольное.
the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Это, возможно, даже прикольные ведра. Хотя не, прикольные ведра ничего не может быть.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Ну, я захотел.
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Да ну, да чё ты?
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why
Ты
don't we
наговорил.
just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
А я нет.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the whole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Давай.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Yeah.
Is the teleport button not working? You sure?
Нет.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working. Still nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Нет, не надо.
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
Нет.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything
Окей, я
else.
вернусь и буду больше прыгать, пожалуйста.
Take care, Stanley.
Нет.
I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
Нажмись. Нет, нажмись. Пожалуйста, вернись. Я не буду больше прыгать. Мистер Диктор. Диктор. Степан. Что? Куда? Куда? Нет! Помогите! Да за что? Главное, что ведро со мной. Это самое главное. Перспективу? В смысле сменить перспективу? Не, я хочу ниже. Я же опускаюсь, да, я все ниже и ниже. И до сих пор все ниже и ниже. Что значит сменить перспективу? В каком смысле сменить перспективу? Перспективу. Я опускаюсь? Да, опускаюсь. Ой. Это я, Стэнли. С ведром. Сменить восприятие. Ого! О, нет. Что происходит? Сменить реальность? Ой, тут собачки. Дай покажи собачек. Собачки. сменить меня? Как много кнопок теперь надо жать. Ну-ка, вот так буду. О! Какой крутой, смотрите. Смотрите.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley?
Oh,
good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting
Нет.
away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because
В
this
смысле?
hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every
Верни
second.
меня
of it.
туда-обратно.
You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the whole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
В смысле ты вернешь? Ты был сон? Я опять спускаюсь вниз? Я опять засыпаю? Все что ли? Эти еще концовку я нашел там.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Так. Кнопка снимения игрока. Прыжковый круг. Почти бесконечная дыра. Ну-ка, дай-ка скажу к бесконечной дыре. Она изменилась? Ну, прыжков у меня нету. Сейчас туда вот сходим. Я сейчас просто посмотрю про дырку, что там. Ну, такая же осталась. А если я туда опять упаду? О, понял. Продумали это. Что-то какой-то недовольный, вроде был счастлив. Но это не точно. Нет скриншотить. Вот были. Так мы, получается, что везде были? Нет, не везде. Где мы не были? Там были, тут были. Вот тут вот не было. Чемпион мира по настройкам. Чемпион мира по Контроль можно подключить? Может, контроль можно подключить? Ладно, следующую серию подключу. Внешний вид. Внешний вид это типа вниз. Нет, ну-ка. Чемпион по настройкам. Я вот так вот, типа, оп-хоп-хоп. Настраиваю тут. Ой-ой-ой. Принять разрешение. Сохранить. Ой-ой-ой, прям изменяю все. Упрощенное управление. Прям все делаю. О. Я не знаю, что с этим делать. Ладно, может там вот я был. Да. Был. А где я не был? Я везде же был. Че, мне на выход идти? Да ну, не может быть, что я про везде был. Так, быстро. Ну-ка, где здесь карта? Так, кнопка был. Бесконечный был. Бесконечная дыра. Так, ну-ка. Я здесь. Ну-ка, на N нажму, на 5, ничего не происходит. Какая-то бесконечная дыра. Q был, N был, 3 был. Вот там вот вроде вот не было на решетке. Что, получается, на выход надо идти? Сейчас решетку посмотрю. Не, я здесь был. Ну да, здесь я везде был, это... Тут ничего нет, да? Ай! Ай, что это такое? Бэби поднял. Ребенок поднялся. Не скриншотить. А у меня скриншот не работает. Ой. Ой-ой. Не репорт, куда? Ну-ка. Нет, работает. Ну-ка, я сделаю скриншот. Я сделал скриншот. Ну, это типа я программу сделал, а так... У меня скриншоты отключены. Ну-ка, да как отсканирую код. Сейчас. Где у меня сканер-то? Он реально куда-то ведет. За Stanley Parable 2 на сайт ведет. Продолжение, да, смотри по наши полезные и информативные видео, чтобы узнать побольше Stanley Parable. И о том, как стать сиквелом. Это новинка, вы любите приквелы, посмотрите за Stanley Parable. Ну, это одностраничный сайт какой-то, ну, все равно прикольно. Все, на выход. Там ведерко. Ну-ка. Ведерко поставить могу? Добавился лучше бы бег тут. Хотя бы сюда. Или ускорение. Ну-ка. Падла. Ну все, я на выход. Выход у нас вот там вот, если не ошибаюсь.
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Ну блин. Но я хочу. Не, пошел ты. Все получается, да? На кого вот там? Ну там ничего нету. Ну тогда я на выход, чё? Исчезли. Че не понимаю. Так, прыжковый круг, коллекционные предметы. Ну все, я на выход. Я уже все посмотрел, что? Ведерко я заберу себе.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
В смысле продолжить? Я уже на выход иду. Тут что-то еще.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
No way.
I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Да, готов.
Here it is. I give you
Stanley
the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Версия...
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Там
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Опа. Опа. Там были данные игрока написаны. А, вот данные игрока. Давай начнем. Блин, надо было бы закончить, если честно. Ладно, давайте посмотрим.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly.
Стоп, это фигня мы только что видели.
Was happy.
Эту комнату, я имею в виду сейчас вот с нее, с какой стороны смотрели. Но даже произошло что-то странное с Стэнли
Something that would
Parable.
forever change Stanley.
Бля.
Something he would never
Так
quite
прикольно
forget.
сделано.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that
Ладно, мы
not
все это
one
читали.
single
Сейчас
order
давайте
had
сделаем так.
arrived on the monitor for him to
Дойдем
follow.
хоть до какой-нибудь
No one had
концовки.
showed up to
Шарики.
give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say
Сейчас дойдем
hi.
хоть до какой-нибудь
Never
концовки и
in all
закончим.
his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Мне не дали decision.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it.
Давай,
Yes,
50.
almost certainly 50 clicks.
Блин, а. Ну, сколько я уже натыкал? Да ладно, хорошо, я 50 раз не натыкал. Он меня обманывает. Ну. Да ну ты чё, я 50 раз уже нажал. Да иди ты нахер. Ведёнка.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Нового контента нету больше.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Давай влево, пойдем, все по правильному делаем сейчас. О! Серьезно, я могу закрывать дверь? Так, все, я не иду. Да. Я туда не пойду. Ладно, пойду. Ну, вроде нельзя было открывать дверь.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Что?
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the
В
bucket.
смысле?
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in.
Не
Don't
отдам ведро.
hand over the
Нет.
bucket. I know how hard it must be.
Нет, мое
Given the
ведро.
pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong
Да,
friend.
ты прав, это мое
Can't
ведро.
hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk
В
that it
смысле? Она
has
что,
to
про
resort
ума
to this
сказала?
stream of petty
Про мать было
insults
лишнее.
simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply
На что?
that you and the bucket are not truly
В
deep and lasting
смысле? Она
friends.
врет.
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient?
Нет,
That your
нет.
life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it.
Давай.
Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your
смысле,
feelings
дневник?
for the
Это мой
bucket
дневник
as they
читал?
have changed and evolved over the years.
Стоп, ты...
Let him have it.
Ты мой дневник... Ты чмо? Ты... Плохая подсобка. Я хотел тебе здесь остаться, получить концовку, а ты...
Okay,
Всё.
I've got you something which I think will help
Ну-ка.
settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
А!
There. Now it's settled. No more debate. No more discussion.
Чё так
Take a
пугаешь-то?
hike, broom closet.
Да,
with all
теперь
your
это моя
meandering
ст-
philosophical
ведро.
diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Пошла вон. Все, теперь у меня есть крутой стикер.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you
Конечно.
come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Да вроде что-то другое написано. Все, уходим. Дверь закрываем. Дверь закрыта.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Если бы не ведро, я бы уже
It
все.
would be
Мне
with
кажется,
him
я бы не
always.
выдержал этого.
The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
А, реально?
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad
was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Реально, это
Was
удача.
it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Так-то да, кстати. Откуда я... Опа.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
О, мне
Stanley
нравится.
figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Стэну... Ну иди ты нахер, тебе я это сказать не могу. Ну идем вниз тогда. Оп. Ведерко не отберешь?
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be
Конечно,
fine.
есть. Все благодаря ведру. Благодаря ведру я здесь оказался.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
В смысле смерть? Я потерялся. А в
The
какую
door
сторону
behind
идти?
them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Что это, смерть? Я не хочу туда. Я случайно упал. Эй, эй, эй. Нет.
As the
Нет.
machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their
Нет,
demise,
нет.
Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure,
Пусти меня.
it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
Надо, пожалуйста.
This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Нет, ведерко, помоги, я спрятался. Ведерко?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
Что?
as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it
Таймер.
was crushed violently to death.
Ты кто? А! Ведерко, пошли отсюда. The Stanley Parable. Эй, а где цифра 2? Тут обман.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Где мое ведро? Я потерял его в темноте. Мое ведро. Ведро приглашает вас на большую высоту. Вы подошли к порогу настоящего знания. Как и само ведро, человеческий разум зачастую всего лишь пустой сосуд, но с помощью таких средств, как эта выставка, разум наполняет смыслом и познанием. Знание о ведре и его истине — единственная не предложенная истина в переменном мире. Возьмете ли вы с собой во внешний мир то, что узнаете здесь? Откроете ли разум тому, что может показаться сложным или даже невыносимым? Потеряете ли вы свою жизнь и жизнь своих близких после этой выставки? А поменяете, не потеряете? Или отвернетесь и будете жить как прежде, в невежестве и темноте? Ведро!
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Ведро с двумя ручками. Ведро представлено с двумя ручками сразу. В реальной жизни такой дизайн ни разу не используется. Его признали слишком опасно и безрассудно на возрасте. Каждый год в нескольких странах казнят тех, кто пытается его реализовать. Здесь видно вот здесь вот два глаза и нос посередине. Да уж кто-то такой. 25 ведер. Фото 25 ведер сразу большого количества не удалось снять никому. Фотограф несколько недель буквально терял дар речи. Настолько была велика его радость на снимках с таким количеством ведер. Как здесь больше 25 ведер? А здесь что? А здесь? Ведро. Очень старое ведро. Адское ведро. Репродукция адского ведра, которое так ценилось в средние века, что целые народы шли за него на войну. Люди гибли сотни тысяч, но один факт оставался не предложен. Никого не было власти над ведром. Слышите это? Ведро антистресс. Комментарий отсутствует. Я слышу там. Пещерный рисунок. Мы знаем, что ведра появились раньше людей, но не знаем, насколько раньше. Рисунок изображает древний человек, который научился пользоваться ведром. По всей вероятности, ведру к этому времени уже несколько тысяч лет. Обратите внимание, что как ведро позволяет себя использовать, признав человечество достойным этого.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as
Но
this
я
one.
владел ведром, у меня был
It is
стикер на
man
нем.
who should kneel before the bucket.
Висящее ведро. Экспонат символирует неизбежную связь ведра и человечества. Мы можем думать, что отлично понимаем ведро, но всегда найдется то, что мы еще не осознали. Это всегда лучше. Я дотянусь! Я достоин ведра.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements. If only we let Stanley die together, the bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Ведро. Стэнли. Надо было перезапустить игру. Ой.
But Stanley simply couldn't
Ну ладно, мы
handle
это
the
уже...
pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a...
Все, короче, это мы видели. Ладно, все, на этом закончу. Спасибо за просмотр. Ставь лайк. Пойду до ведра
All of his
возьму,
co-workers
заберу
were
его.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Ведерко.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Спасибо за просмотр. Ставь лайк. Подписывайся, комментируй. Смотри другие видео. Как сказал, я опять начал часто снимать. Почти каждый день
Stanley
стримлю,
clutched the
поэтому...
bucket tightly to his
Давай, не
chest. This
пропускай.
was not the correct way to the meeting room.